Welcome to EffluxEffects Studios. Today we're going to work on showing how to better organize the scene editor in Iclone so that it's not so crowded when working on complex scenes. So one thing I always recommend is work in quick mode. If you just go up to the banner on the top next to the little camera, you can select quick mode. You can have high, which will turn on, here, I'll tell you what, it's easier. Let's just scroll down to preferences. And if you look under real-time render options, you just kind of scroll down, you'll see the displacement maps, the substance, HDR are all turned off. On the highest levels, these would all be turned on. And of course, it makes it a little more difficult to move around the scene. So when you're setting your scene up and you're getting ready, I strongly suggest using quick mode. Sometimes you may want to turn the normals on, but that's about it. So let's go back to the scene element. So as you can see here, this is from an upcoming animated short film we're doing, and this little medieval village, you can see here we just have hundreds and hundreds of different individual parts, and if I didn't have a good way to group them, it would be really difficult to manage this. So what I'm just going to show you is how to use dummy props and the attach to make this go a little smoother and organize this in a way that's easy to manipulate. So again, just for those of you who don't realize, if you select any item, then Iclone will rotate around that item and zoom in towards that item. So in this case, I just picked in, and I want to see something a little better here. So if you go under visual, I am going to turn the image base lighting back on, just so we can see things a little better here. So now I'm going to jump to, we're going to simplify this. So we're going to just focus on one house at a time. Ultimately, we'll look at four. So you can see right now, everything's just a bunch of parts, and we can move those parts and we can edit them individually, but I want to group them. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to jump over to the props and the 3D blocks and select a primitive. In this case, you can use a box. Some people use cones. They'll all work the same. It's just going to give us a common point to attach to, so we can edit and modify the location of the different elements in the scene quickly, easily, and just again, it's the only way I could find to really create subfolders. So if you used it for nothing else, it gives you some subfolders that you can rename so you can keep track of what you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of line this up with the door. We're going to make it invisible later, so once we select this dummy, so we're not going to worry too much about it. I'm going to go ahead and rename it. Basically, this will be the first house, and I'll just call it the dummy prop. Call it whatever you want. Here, let's fix my spelling. There we go. All right, so just kind of show you something. Here we go. We got this one roof element. So what I want to do is, if I go over here to the right on the first tab, and I go ahead and scroll down to its shortcut is I for some reason for attach. But if you scroll down to the attach and you pick your parent and you just click on it and select the dummy, what will happen is you'll see that that particular prop now moves underneath the dummy prop. So, and you can see when you move the dummy prop, just like with a lot of other things, characters, etc., everything attached to it will move with it. So another neat trick that a lot of people don't realize, if you go ahead and select, you can use the shift and select a range of props. You'll see you still have access to a lot of the commands. You lose the materials, but all the other stuff pretty much stays the same. So under attach, you can pick parent and select your dummy prop, and you'll see that it's selected. All those props that you had in your selection were all applied to and attached to the dummy prop. So again, just kind of a quick way to do that. And now when we move the building, everything attached to it moves with it. And very importantly, you'll notice under the House 1 dummy prop, all of the props associated with that now are in that subfolder. So again, it's going to help us, and we'll see later as we do more than one house, you'll see that really comes in handy, because now I can kind of zoom in on an area and not get distracted by a lot of unnecessary props. So I'm going to do the exact same thing here. I'll show you a little trick, by the way. One of the other great thing about using a dummy prop, let's just say I want to copy this building and exactly like it is and just make a row the same. Well, you hold down Control, you drag on any one of the arrows, and you see everything that's in the subfolders underneath the particular prop gets copied. So not just the dummy prop itself, but everything attached to it. So we'll go ahead, and again, by the way, the grouping can work the opposite way. So we select everything underneath it, we go ahead and detach it, and I'm going to go ahead and delete it because I just wanted the prop, but I just want to kind of show you that we actually have the ability to, everything in the subfolders will copy with it. So in this case, we'll just call it for house 2, and we'll go ahead and let's turn everything on related to the house. And we're going to do 4, but we're only going to show 2 in detail, and I'll show you ground plane, some other things. It's pretty cool. So we're going to go ahead and make some copies because we're going to have 4 houses in the ground plane. Again, hold the Control and drag on any one of the arrows, and it will duplicate the prop. There you go. And so now we have a bunch of different ones. We'll turn off all the ones we're not using right now so that we don't get confused over everything's going on. Now I'm going to turn everything back on for the second house, and I just know I've been messing with this for a little bit, so I kind of know where all these are located. But again, hold the Shift, select Arrange. When you turn them on, then it'll outline it. It won't outline them if they're turned off. So, again, so you'll know you're picking up the right elements by doing that. And you'll notice, by the way, there's a wall missing intentionally because I got houses next to each other. It is one thing to consider, depending on where your cameras are. Don't include any props. Don't include anything that's not visible. It just clutters, and because Iclone, just in my opinion, just does not work very well when you have a lot of different props and elements. So things going on. So here we go. So I lined that up. In this case, there was 2 doors, so I lined it up between the 2, so it's kind of centered. You can center it in the house, whatever you want. We're going to go right back down, go over to the right, leftmost tab, under Attach, pick Parent, and same thing. We're going to move these all under the new dummy 2, and we're going to select Arrange by using the Shift key. Go under Attach, pick Parent, select the dummy, and there you go. Look at that. So we've moved all those materials into subfolders that are named directly for that particular, in this case, it's a house. And you can see how it's starting to clean up. So here we go. We've jumped ahead. We've done the other 2 in the ground plane, same exact procedure, and we've added one more dummy prop, and we're going to use that one for kind of a master. Now, as we select each dummy prop, the other thing you can do to hide them is just, if you click on the Select as Dummy Prop, then they'll become invisible, but you'll still see the cursors, and also you can grab them and you can move things around. If you just turn them off, you won't have access to using the prop for moving it. So there we go. So we've set everything as a dummy. We've moved it around, and I'm not going to actually attach the ground to the master, but we'll still got to set it as dummy. So I'm going to kind of center in the group of buildings this master dummy prop. And it's going to be the same thing, right? We're going to select, because the dummy props can be attached to other dummies. So same thing, under I, Attach, pick Parent. So I select each one of the dummies and attach them to the master, and you can see it moves them. And the thing I want, hopefully, to be obvious is the biggest thing I'm getting out of this actually is the organization within my scene editor. So when I want to work with this particular row of houses, by naming it appropriately, I can get up under here and I can move them and edit them, and as I go into the different subfolders, each item can be moved and individually. Double clicking on an item works just like always. Kind of work my way over here. I'll just show you. See, so as you open up subfolders, everything's there. If you double click on an item in there, like in this case the canopy, it'll open up the appropriate subfolders and go right to it. and now I could turn it off, leave it on, whatever I want. So you don't lose any control. But what it does is it creates organization and also allows you to move and set things the way you want them. So hopefully this was help. You have a great day, and I wish you the best.